Any comments? All right, make a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Bid opening paving project 2022, Faust Road and Gosel Road.
Yep. Okay, this is the time and place for the bid opening for the Faust Road, Gazelle Road paving project. Everyone should have a copy of the bidders list. We're going to open the bids and announce them at this point. There were 4 bids that were picked up from Sachs & Sons, Wexcon, Construct Connect, which is a bidding service, and CMR Construction. There was no bid that was received from Sachs & Sons. We did receive a bid from Wexcon. I'll be opening that now. Okay, the bid number from Wexcon was $364,100 even, $364,100.
Okay.
Okay, there was no bid received from Construct Connect, again, their bidding service. And then we also did receive a bid from CMR Construction, Inc. Okay, the bidding number for CMR Construction Inc. is $478,884.25.
Okay.
Again, $478,884.25.
What's that?
Didn't work.
Yeah.
I guess not.
So, I don't know if you even want me to check the bids at that point. 364 is almost twice of what.
Our budget is,
Yeah.
yeah, our budget is $230,000.
Including asphalt. This does not even include asphalt, which was estimated at about 45.
Okay, all right.
We've been putting a lot of projects out to bid, and we've been getting some that were just through the roof. We've put out more projects so far this year than we put out, I'd say, all last year and maybe some of the year before. So there's only so many contractors to do that work, and we've been running into that.
So I did talk, so Steve's is running late tonight due to another commitment. I did talk to him, and we did talk about the possibility of, if the bids did come in very high, maybe holding off, rejecting the bids, and maybe later in the year, looking at bidding out Faust, and then maybe combining it with Kaiser, which is slated for 2023, bid them late in the year to try to get a better price so that they could start early 2023. So that could be one approach, and then we could pull out the Gazelle, and that's a relatively small piece. It should be under 20,000, and maybe we just do that this year and hold off on these. So that's a possibility, because these are just way beyond what we have budgeted.
And we think if we ask for additional bids, we're not gonna, do we think we'll get somebody within budget?
Yes, like if we were to rebid it again, like now, it's not, because of this work that has been done, it won't take a lot to modify the bids to bid them again. You could try toward the end of the year if a contractor is light on works and things fell through, and maybe you could do something like that. If you want to bid it again, let's say end of August, something like that, for a October, November type of project, you could very likely get some interest then. You know, or as Tracy had said, you could, combine it, or, and the other thing is we could do is, along the lines of what Tracy was saying, we could bid it in such a way that it's easily separate, that if we get higher numbers and you wanna move forward, you can eliminate one, you could concentrate on Faust and eliminate Kaiser because they still came in high.
Right.
You know, because
Okay.
when prices go up, even if the reason that the prices went up goes away, they come down, but they generally don't tend to come down back to where they were.
No, I mean, look, what's impacting costs right now?
Yeah. A bunch of different things,
Lots
water,
of things.
oil, all of the above.
Right.
And again, what you have in here, the seal coat is one thing, there's asphalt and seal coat, and that's a significant amount of oil right there. But it doesn't include, the overlay for Faust Road, for example,
Mhm.
includes equipment, hauling, and labor. It doesn't include asphalt. That we get through Perkiomenville, get it through CoStars, which is the best price we're going to get.
What do you guys think?
Reject the bids. Yep. Definitely. Revisit it, get together with Steve.
Yeah.
See where we go from there.
Reject the bids?
Understood.
Do you need a motion for that?
Yes.
I make a motion to reject these bids for Faust and Gosel Road paving project. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Treasurer's report, bills to be paid.
So the treasurer's report's before you, showing all the fund balances. The treasurer also did include a summary of revenues and expenses this year to date compared to the same period from 2021. She also kind of did a little summary of some of the noteworthy line items. Overall, we're on budget, we're looking pretty good overall. We do have a few line items that are higher than we would like them to be, particularly those related to fuel, which is no big surprise. And then we did have to do some more expensive sewage, some repairs, equipment replacement down at the sewage treatment plant in Perkiomen Crossing. So that's the treasurer's report.
I gotta say, I like the way she breaks all this down.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Any comments?
Nope.
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented and file for audit. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bills to be paid.
So the bills to be paid, report is before you. The total bills to be paid for the month of April total $104,821.78.
Okay. Then I make a motion to approve payment of the bills, to advance to the treasurer the funds to pay any needed bills or expenditures, to save penalties or accrue interest and payroll prior to the Board of Supervisors meeting on June 9th, 2022. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Emergency services. Plymouth Community Ambulance, Lower Frederick Division.
31 calls for the month. Lower Frederick, 95 for the year so far.
Okay.
Second truck is, that we talked about, has been up at the Upper Frederick Fire Company from 8 to 8 roughly, Monday through Friday.
How are things going?
Not bad. not bad.
Good.
Still getting called out to other territories, so that was kind of the plan, to have a second truck in.
Yeah.
But for the month so far, 58 or 59 times we've been covering another organization, so at least there's still a truck in the area.
Okay. Fire company activity, current events?
According to the report, there were 12 incidents in the month of May, or April, sorry.
All right, water sewer plant report, Perkins Crossing, Ivy Ridge.
No violations to report. With the two big rain events we had, effluent was clear all time. Currently though, I'm having some issues. Let's see, Perkins Crossing, I got an inflow pump went out. It needs to be pulled, and, which I pull it out, no problem, and I can take it to tech, prices. Probably need to be repaired,
Okay.
that's okay. And try and get Steve down to dig a new drain around the building, the water building. It's backing up when we get the big ones, and it's flowing into the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right at the bottom of the door off a little bit. Try to rusted the screws out and stuff.
All right, well, Tracy, you want?
Yep, we'll coordinate to get out there.
Let's see what else. Ivy Ridge, got some clogged pumps. I pulled one up so far, and the fittings are all broken off. I was just talking to Rick about it. Doesn't look like they used stainless there where they were supposed to.
So what do you need to do for that?
It's a work just pulling them up.
And I'm gonna get the vendor out there to look at it and see if we can get that taken care of with them.
And then I gotta pull up two in the influent well, and they're just, we should come up with a crane system or something there, some type of ways, because they're heavy, and it's just, you gotta pull them up by the chain. And the way they did it, they got the hoses and the wires kind of all tangled, and
Can we coordinate with Steve to get him help?
Yeah, yep,
it's,
yep,
Exactly.
so we'll talk about that.
Okay. Yeah.
it's a nightmare there. Otherwise, it's putting out clean water.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Let's get Public Works until you see.
No, it's fine, I'll just
Yeah.
do his report, he might be quite a bit late.
Okay, Tracy, go ahead.
So the guys have been working on base road repairs throughout the township. You can probably see corners at intersections that they've been working on. They had Norm, I think, and Steve had a meeting out at Westford Road with the County Conservation District, working on trying to get, the county to approve a grant for that project. They've been doing roadside swale and ditch work, different maintenance, and then mowing season's underway, so they're doing a lot of mowing. Okay.
Thank you.
Did we get anybody, any outfits?
Not yet, they have till the 20th though, so it's still a week.
Okay. Environmental engineers report.
Alrighty, the weekly checks there at the plant, looking good, as Matt's saying, things running well. As just mentioned, he was telling me about the issue with the pumps that he was getting there, so we're gonna get the HEK out there that did the work on that and find out what happened with that, because those pumps aren't that old, there shouldn't be corrosion issues with them.
Okay.
So we'll see if we can get some warranty coverage and get that repaired. Water system at Perk Crossing, we're waiting for the schedule from Keystone to do the repair of the two hydrants out there. They'll be getting back to me shortly, and hopefully we'll be out there within the next week or so to take care of those two. As mentioned, I guess, Matt, the booster pump's doing okay at the water plant.
Yeah, we're
so-
just running a little lower pressure,
That.
we're on that one, that's all.
And
Upper pressure, not the lower pressure.
And we sent in the uninterrupted service form to DEP for the water plant at Perk Crossing. They didn't come up with all these different forms to submit, and it basically just shows we have backup power for the place. So, but it's got all kinds of information, bureaucratic things to, so that was submitted. We talked with Matt, the last thing we owe DEP on there is an O&M form filled out. So I'm gonna work with him and we'll get that out, and then that wraps up the last of the items. And then I guess Shannon from DEP may wanna come out and take a look just to, see everything that was covered. The only other thing that was done was the new well cap on well 1, well 2, and, but everything else is in good shape there. And Ivy, like I said, everything else was running good other than this pump issue now. And attended the meeting with the developers regarding the proposed wastewater treatment plant, and had spoken to their engineer, had called me the day before. So we highlighted to them that water tank goes on high ground, treatment plant goes on low ground. Treatment plant gets enough space for any maintenance expansion, any kind of construction needs that happen in the future. And as far as the importance of discharge point.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Civil engineers report.
Okay, LTL's updated the engineer's report for the month of May. The only two items that I really touched on were the mention about the conditional use hearing for Big Road subdivision, and about the bid opening for Faust Gazelle, and they're separate line items, so I can answer the questions, but other than that, there's not really a lot to talk about.
All right, thank you. Building inspector and zoning hearing board.
So we had 19 permits processed this past month and 10 inspections. We have several ongoing zoning issues. After your meeting last month, there was discussion about someone living in their van up in Perkiomenville. Took a drive up there, and sure enough, she was there. So we've been working with her on a plan of her relocation. And so we gave her a time frame that she either needs to get the building to the point where it can be occupied and she can move in, or she needs to find another place to live. So we are working with her. We also received a couple more complaints, one on Hill Road about trash, and another one on Gravel Pike about somebody else living in a van. So we're working on that one too. Other than that, Dave, I think you've got something scheduled in June, right, going to court?
June for
Okay.
Okay.
So everything's kind of moving along slowly.
Good. Any comments? Okay. All right. Planning commission.
Planning Commission for the month of April was canceled.
Okay. Parks and Recreation Board.
They did meet. We did a little kind of overview of the Swamp Creek Stump, and we're starting to plan for Community Day. We have talked about inviting local farmers, maybe to set up tables at Community Day, and they can either sell things that they produce on their farm, or they can just highlight their farm. We also discussed the possibility of maybe incorporating kind of the flea market concept, maybe around the perimeter on the trail. The Parks Board isn't quite sure about that. I don't know if you guys have a feeling one way or another about that. So that's another possibility that we could look into incorporating into Community Day. And we just got a special event permit today for a bike ride that's gonna happen on the same day as our Community Day. And it happens to come up Knifer and then cut right past here. So we let them know that, if they wanna incorporate Community Day as a stop on the ride,
That'd be
they
great.
can certainly
Yeah.
promote it and come visit us, so,
Are we gonna be fire police for that?
no,
No?
that's about it.
Anything else? Okay. All right. So we have business before the board. Tracy, you made a comment you might want to talk about?
Yeah, so we have, under old business number 1, sign replacement, this has to do with the replacement of the sign out front for the township. We actually have a vendor here who wants to do a demonstration. But I know that there's potentially a lot of people here regarding the conditional use decision. So if you wanted to move that up and then we could go out and take a look at the demonstration, that might be fine. But it's up to you guys.
Kind of a good idea.
You wanna do that?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do. Alright, conditional use, so we're at new business item 1. Conditional use decision for 2739 Big Road, proposal to allow use 285-151.1.b, offices, shops, storage for building, plumbing, electric, or other contractors or suppliers.
I provided you with a draft of an order for your consideration. If you find it acceptable, it would be appropriate to a motion to authorize execution of, approve the order, and authorize execution.
It should be under new business tab 1.
I have this thing with the sign here.
Check old business.
Try old business.
Sorry.
Right there. Tabs got mixed up.
Yep, sorry about that.
Alright.
So I will say there's quite a few conditions that are included. If you want, I can run through them for the benefit of the residents in the audience.
Yep.
So just to go through them real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the proposed conditions of this conditional use include no retail or wholesale sale of products, no outdoor storage, no residential occupancy, no tractor trailer deliveries, but the site shall be designed to allow for tractor trailers that mistakenly enter the complex to exit without backing out onto Big Road. Curbs to be installed along the entry drive and cul-de-sac. Leases and/or condominium documents to contain penalties for waste storage violations, with the township having the right of enforcement. Documents to be reviewed and approved by the township solicitor. Light and sound buffer from adjacent residential properties as recommended by the planning commission to be put in place to minimize impact on neighboring properties. To the extent possible, buildings adjacent to the residential neighbors shall be repositioned so that the rear of the buildings face the residences. Applicant will arrange to have the development inspected Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of each week to assure compliance with all rules and regulations.